Okay, so I found this reading and vocabulary activity online that I feel could use quite a few improvements. It's called Magnificent Failures. This right here is the teacher's page. It so she gives you what she wants you to do. She gives you instructions. She does talk about vocabulary, um, but unfortunately, all she does is say that um, you should go through the story and make sure that the students understand the words. She doesn't she doesn't really go on to do really anything with it. She says that while you're going through the various stories, because there's a story way down here. I guess I should show that. Yeah, it's about magnificent failures, so things that have happened that were a complete flop. Anyways, so based on these stories, she suggests that as far as the vocabulary, she suggests that you go through the various stories and you make note of which of the vocabulary is new for the students. Write the words onto flashcards. So me as the teacher, I need to go ahead and read through these and make a note of the vocabulary that's new for the students. Write them onto flashcards and then give them to my students and have them, I guess, get in pairs or groups or whatever and ask each other questions using the new words. But it doesn't say anything about how this vocabulary is going to be introduced, how they're going to learn it. It doesn't introduce it like in context clues or skimming or scanning. I feel like it's just, okay, find these words they probably don't know and have them make sentences with each other. But she does put actually some effort into idioms. This is which it took me a couple of times. I was actually really confused the first couple of times I went over this activity. This is the instructor's page. So this is the answers for me as the teacher. And then she gives an alternate instead of the activity, this activity, giving that to them, you can do something else. So here's, I guess this is the vocabulary for them. This is the title of the short story. There's quite a few of them, and then I guess these are the phrases and the vocabulary that she wants them to know. I don't know. I never really figured that out. I even went back into the teacher's page and tried to find out what this page is for. Why is 2 hours on here? I don't know. Some of the words are weird. For instance, rooks, lavatory. This is a British English site. So obviously I wouldn't choose this anyways unless I changed all the British English. But besides that, some of the stuff that she's presented here is just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel appropriate. So yeah, so there's the vocabulary, I guess, that she picked out. And then the only worksheet that she includes is this little one of idioms. And she wants them to fill in the blank. So cut one's losses, fall from grace, let something slip through your fingers. So I thought, okay, so if she's giving these idioms, right, then I'm assuming that it has something to do with the stories and that they must be in the stories. I read all of these stories, and they are not in it. They go all the way down here. It's quite a bit of reading. So, which I realize I have to do a write-up for this activity and change it. But for instance, the vocabulary that I would include is, I don't know if I'm supposed to include this, but since I'm recording, I might as well continue with it. So for instance, predicament, right here, this word, predicament, okay? What if the students don't even know what the word magnificent is? I mean, obviously this would be for a very advanced or conversation class. I would, yeah, very advanced or conversation. Anything other than that, and they would be very, very lost. So some of the other words that I picked out, which I'm not going to show them on here, I wrote them down. So applauded, bobsled, insistence, ridiculous, deportation, overenthusiastic, crouched, integrated, propelling, pole vault, paramour, legality. I mean, there are some big words here. I mean, even for a native English speaker, like these are some great words. I mean, I know what they are, but they're some good words. I wonder if maybe this is a little too advanced. I do think it is a ton of information. I might cut this in half. But I just feel like this activity it had a lot that could be changed in it. The way that obviously the vocabulary was presented, what you do with the vocabulary. What about the reading? There's absolutely nothing here, any kind of, when we go back up here to the teacher page, there's, I don't know, there doesn't seem to be anything. Introduction, tell the students they are going to be reading an amusing article about some events that went horribly wrong for people. The article is subdivided into various short stories and can be done successfully as an information share. So yeah, that's a good idea. That's probably what I would do. Cut up the article into various short stories, so all the students get different ones, right? In the students' notes, there's a heading for each story. Not all the stories have been included, with some vocabulary from the reading. So yeah, that sheet was her vocabulary. Like I said, the notes page, which is the vocabulary page, which is not even the vocabulary I would focus on, and go through the reading one story at a time in the following manner. Go through the vocabulary in the first story, making sure the students understand the words, and then get them to speculate what have happened in the story, and then read the story to find out how accurate their predictions are. So based on the vocabulary that she gives you, the least successful attempt to go to the lavatory, flight, relieve himself, cabin crew, I'm exploding, suicide bomber, rearrested, and tourist visa. So yeah, you can speculate with those few words what the story is possibly about. I just, for an advanced class and this reading, it's actually quite advanced. I feel like this should just be presented in a different way. Okay, I guess that's it. I mean, pair work, definitely, group work. There needs to be obviously listening, speaking, some writing, some reading involved. I'm trying to think. Meaningful tasks. Yeah, I just don't feel like the idioms, the way that they're presented, or the way that any of this is presented, is meaningful. I do like the fact that it's an authentic. I feel like it's an authentic material. I mean, this is something that a native speaker would read. This is actually out of, let me scroll down. It says it down at the bottom. The Ultimate Book of Heroic Failures. It's in the UK, but it's an actual book. And this is something that a native speaker would read. So I like that. But it's, I don't know, I don't feel like they're really learning anything useful as far as fluency or even scanning or skimming, or even context clues with the way that she presented it. Okay, that's it. Thank you.